Hey there, this is Neil Napier. Welcome to today's session. So today is going to be kind of heartbreaking for a lot of you. And that's because you might have an idea that what you're doing, what you're working on is just absolutely groundbreaking and people have to love it, people have to worship you for it, and you're going to make a lot of money. Or on the other hand, you might think that what I have is absolute crap, it's not going to sell, and I should never ever put it out there. So you might be in one of these two schools of thoughts, and I'm going to break it down for you because I'm going to prove both of you wrong. I'm going to actually use hard data, numbers, to show you whether or not what you want to create, what you want to sell is a good thing or not. So here's what you need to know. Quite often when people want to create and sell something, the process goes like this. I mean, you were there when we talked about when we did the 5-day training, right? So the steps usually go is that you work out your customer avatar, you figure out what you want to sell, you do discovery calls, you build it, and then you sell it by driving traffic to it and building all the landing pages and whatnot. Now that's all good, and it works really well if you are guaranteed that the product you create is going to work. But I got to tell you that there's no guarantees in membership site business. Sometimes you might fail. And what I found the challenge with me is that if I fail in such cases, I lose all motivation to continue creating content. So, let's say if I create a lot of, hey, Beth, hi. So if I create a lot of content, say over the course of 30 days, and then I put it out there and I make 2 sales for $97, that was absolute waste of time, right? I put in so much effort and I wasted time. And I know a lot of people overcome that objection by saying that, hey, it's okay, we can sell something in future. We can sell this again in future. Well, if you couldn't sell it now, you damn sure are not going to be able to sell it in future. So I want you to get over that mental hurdle where you inflate your own ego and you tell yourself that I'll just create it and they'll come. That doesn't happen. Not always. I mean, if you really are guaranteed, you're sure that what you have is good, people are going to buy, by all means work on creating it, spend the next 2-3 months, whatever it takes. But if you're trying out an idea and if you don't know how that's going to go, well, you should reconsider how you approach it. Now, what I'm going to do is, in this case, build a sales page in front of you based on the idea that we discussed last week. So let me share my screen. And again, this is going to be a very hands-on session. And we'll talk about kind of what we did before, right? Which is let me open up the mind map. Okay, whoops. So I've got Free Mind, where we started building out the mind map of the course that we want to create, right? That was what we started working on. So let me just open that up. And I don't even remember if actually our course had a name. I don't think it did. We'll give it now and we'll see if it sticks. I mean, if it doesn't, we can change that as well, right? So let's see. If I can open that up right now. Okay, yeah, the course name was the Octafunnel, which I think is still a pretty cool name. So we have a course or an offer name. The offer name is Octafunnel, and we're going to teach people how to use Octafunnel in their business to make more money with their courses, with the offers that they're selling. That's our goal. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up a very quick validation sales page. I'll explain that very shortly. Actually, let me do that now. Let me explain what that validation sales page means. So going back again, the typical process is that, hey, Wolfgang and Erica. So the typical process is that you build out your course or your, let's call it, membership site. And then after that, you start building out your sales page and thank you page, that sort of thing. So you build your sales page, you build your thank you page. And what you start doing then is you start driving traffic to it. If it fails, it fails. You don't make any money and that falls apart. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to do this first. I'm going to build a sales page first. Then I'm going to build the membership site and the thank you page if I make enough money. Now, what is that enough money? I don't know. You decide, right? So the way I look at numbers, let's say if I drive 1,000 clicks to something, and I know that might seem like a lot, but let's say if I drive 1,000 clicks to something and that thing, say, is priced at $197. When I say 1,000 clicks, I mean all old and new customers all together, right? So let's say this 1,000 clicks go to an offer that is priced at $197, but we make, let's say we convert about 5% of the people from this. So we make about 50 sales at approximately $200, 200. So that will make me, if I run this properly, that's $10,000, right? So $10,000 is what I'll make if I spend $1,000 driving clicks. Now, let's say if I run Facebook ads, let's say each click costs me $5, right? So I've basically spent 5,000 to generate about, let's say, $10,000, which is not bad at all. Twice the ROI. But the other challenge is that conversion rates might not be 5% at all. They might be really, really bad. They might only be 1%. In which case, I spend $5,000 and I make like 10 sales, so I get like $2,000 back. I think I have my numbers right, more or less. I might be wrong here. But the idea is that there are two factors to consider. One is your conversion rate. One is the price point. That's what you will convert at. I mean, any business at the end of the day is math, and that's how I want you to look at it. If you look at course creation, like being an initial product seller, as just I create my course and I sell, great, you've got a good hobby that pays. But if you want a business, you got to know the numbers better than I do right now. So 5% of those, again, is about 50. If only 1% convert, that's about 10. And 10 multiplied by 200 is about 2,000. So I really am losing money in this instance, at least immediately. So number one, I know that I want to get the conversion rate up to at least 2.5% because that's when I break even, right? That's my first metric. So let me write that down. 2.5% should be my conversion rate at that price point. And also, what I'm looking for, if all the CPC and everything hold up, is I'm looking for ideally 10 grand ROI to kind of 10 grand return rather, to make it worth my while if I spend $5,000. So those are my metrics that I go in with. Now, you don't need to spend a lot of time building a sales page, but let me guarantee this for you. You will have to spend less time building a sales page than an entire membership site. Because if I think about a course, about bringing it all together, about technically setting everything up, it might easily take you, especially if it's, let's say, $197 worth of course, even if you work really hard at it, it might still take you 5 days to do the course, about 3 days to build up the membership site, about 1 day of checking, 9 days, and about, let's say, 4 days of sales copy, 13 days. So in 2 weeks, you can get something out there if you really work at it, right? Let's say if your 1 day is worth about $500, or let's say it's only worth $100, you spend about $1,400 to do all of this. Now, what if you fail? What if you only make $100 back? Or $200 back, you only make one sale. That's a waste of time, right? Even if you have free traffic. But what I'm saying though instead is that you only spend 3 days maximum, and I say maximum, you can do this in under 3 hours if you don't mind cutting corners, trying it out so you don't spend a lot of money and you get an understanding of the return immediately. That's what I want you to do. So what I like to do is I build out these sales pages that validate the idea of the product that I'm going to sell. So we're going to do that right now for Octafunnel. Are you ready? Give me a quick thumbs up if you're ready, and I'll load up the page right now. All right, cool. I'm getting thumbs ups now. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go in and build a funnel, but I'll build a new one. And let's call this one, I want to make a sales funnel, but really I don't want to have a lot of pages. I just want to have a sales page. Like, we don't want to make this complicated at all. We want to keep this as simple as possible. So I'm just going to create a sales page. There are quite a few different kinds here in Klaviyo. Let me see which one might work well for me. So I think, let me preview. Okay, there is none in this case. Let me preview this one. Okay, this is simple enough. Looks good. I'll go with this. select template. Let's call this Octafunnel Sales. And I'm going to click on next and start building out this page. So let's go to, or rather building out this funnel. Let's go to Octafunnel Sales. This is our sales page. Let's activate it and let's go ahead and start editing it out. So I'm going to change the URL to call it Octafunnel just because I want to have the branding consistent. Update URL. Few other things that I could change already before I forget is the page name. Let's call it Octafunnel. Mark it better. Okay, that's saved. I don't have a logo yet. I don't need to have a logo at all. Like logo, when you're just starting out, is a little bit overrated, right? So let's go ahead and delete this one. I really don't need it. I'm going to delete this section as well. Don't need images. Remember, I'm trying to start as lean as possible right now. I don't want to complicate it. I want to keep it simple. So let's go ahead and edit this headline. Going to centralize this. Oh, okay. So if you're wondering, Neil, okay, I have never created a sales page before. I don't want to create sales page. What can I do to get started fast? What I recommend is this guide. Just Google it, 12-step foolproof sales page, sales letter template from David Trey. It's really, really good if you're just starting out. If you're doing this for the first time, it will give you a lot of insights on how to write a sales page, right? So the very first thing it says, and I'm going to follow this to the letter, and we'll try and do it quickly. It might still take me 1 hour to revise the whole thing, make it better, but I'll give you some insights here on how we structure everything when we're validating the idea. That's the important thing. So let's go ahead and the very first thing it says is open with a headline, how to do the black or secrets of blank or warning blank, right? This is pretty cool. Warning, don't even think of doing this until you've done this, right? So what I could say here is don't even think of blank until you have blank. So don't even think of building out your sales funnel until you have explored this 8x funnel system, right? This is me grabbing their attention. This is me telling them, don't even think of building out your sales funnel until you've explored this 8 funnel system. So there's no direct benefit. I'm more like calling them out at this stage, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm just going to make it all bold. There we go. I can edit it, improve it, change it up later. That's not a problem. But this is the headline that I put in, a simple one. Then what David says is the second step is identify the problem. Tell your reader how it feels to have that problem. So they should read and say, yep, that's exactly how I feel as well. Agitate the problem so they really feel the pain and agony. He talks about telling a story. So story works really well as well, although right now I don't have too much time to write an entire story. So what I'll do is I'll quickly write something up on this page that kind of showcases a problem and agitates it as well. That's the goal. So I'm going to just take the text here and let's bring that in right here. Okay, let's put out some spacing. There we go. All right, so let me just write for a little bit. I'm going to mute myself for like a minute just so I can hash out some content quickly. Okay. All right. Okay, so there we go. What I have done is I have simply written up a little bit of text to point out the problem and agitate it. I could change this further. I could add some more details to it, some more things, but again, for that I'll have to put on my copy hat and start writing furiously just to point this out. But what I'm doing is I'm following David's sales letter process to identify the problem, agitate a little bit. Like I'm basically asking them up front, like, have you, what's holding you back? If you've struggled, what's holding you back? Do you not have enough traffic? Maybe you're selling to the wrong customers, or maybe your offer sucks, which is quite blunt, but I'm asking them, what is it that they need help with? Because whatever it is, I can help them today. So that's my offer to them. Then I can provide the solution. I can present my credentials. I can show the benefits, give social proof, give a guarantee, all of that stuff, right? Any key element that needs to go in the sales page. Now, assume for a second that I've written the entire thing. Assume for a second that this is my entire sales page. It's not going to be as complicated as this. I mean, if you look at it, there's tables, there's different things. You, in your case, for now, are selling a course via a membership site. So it's only going to be one, maximum two options if you want to give people, a possibility to go for a lower price package as well. So your page is going to be simple. It doesn't even need video. It doesn't even need testimonials. If you want to give it some, what you can do is you can just put in, let's say, character testimonials if you have them, which is, something like, I trust Neil a lot. I would love to work with him in future, stuff like that, which is not about the product, but these are character testimonials, which you can find relatively easily, even from like LinkedIn recommendations. So let's assume for a second we built out the entire sales page. This is what it looks like, because I obviously can't do it right in front of you now. But once I have this, here's where the validation comes into play. Let's say what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a button here. And I'm going to put some text as well on top of that. There we go. Let me just center justify it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, this is it. There we go. I'm just going to center justify it a little bit. A bit more. There we go. So this is a beta offer, open to 5 people only. If you click on the button below and the offer is gone, just leave your email address and we'll contact you when the offer reopens. Straight up offer, right? So what I'll put here instead of this text is, buy the Octafunnel, 8x your marketing without creating more work. Something catchy. You can always change later. Right? And I mentioned very clearly that it's $197, which is the beta price. So I want to be clear on this, that I'm only opening this for like 5 people, because for now I want to work with those 5 people and help them get results, right? So what this does, this button, instead of sending them to a PayPal button or some sort of Stripe button or register button, whatever, what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect the email addresses here. I'll explain the full thing. So what I'll do is I will just say, open a pop-up, create a new pop-up, and let's say this is it. And for the sake of it, I'm just going to quickly put this in and leave it as is. Right? Just because I don't want to spend too much time showcasing the mechanics of it. So I'm going to leave this here. And what I'm going to also do is I can track clicks on this as well if I choose to, right? So I can use some external scripts. Like I was using Visual Web Optimizer before to track the clicks that I'm getting on this. So once I have this, I'm just going to click save. and let's say I'll open this up, and then I'll mail this to my audience. Let's say if I go back to this, I mail this to my customers and I get 1,000 clicks on it. The offer is $197. It is clear. I mean, I haven't filled it in yet, but it is clear exactly what the offer is. And I'm giving people a chance to get access to it before anyone else does. I can even add something like, there. So this is a beta offer slashed from $497 to $297 to $197. And, it is available for, let's say, again, 5 people only. And that's it. I'll leave it at this for now. Let's just put one more space because I'm pedantic. Okay, let's leave this at that. And when someone decides to buy, what they will do is they will click on this and there'll be a message here saying, sorry, the offer is now closed. If you still want it, put your email address here. Once we have it, we'll let you know. Once it reopens, we'll let you know. So this will do a few things for me. One, even before I have pushed out the idea, I can track how many people have clicked the link. That's important. How many people have clicked the link? Very crucial. Second thing is when they click the link, they have the option to put their email address. I can see how many people have actually put their email address as well, which is really, really good. So here's what I can do. Let's go back here and I'm going to get rid of all of this. Actually, not all of it. Let me just remove this stuff. Okay. So what I can do now is, let's say I drive 1,000 hits to the page and I make $20,000. Well, hypothetically, right? Because I haven't really. So let's rephrase that. If I drive about 1,000 clicks to the page and about, let's say, 100 of them actually click on the button, which is pretty good. 100 is pretty good, 10% conversion rate ideally, but maybe half of them won't actually buy it. They'll just kind of get to the checkout page and they'll be like, I don't feel like it right now. So I'll say, okay, whatever, let's just go with 50 for now, right? And out of 50 of them, maybe only 25 of them actually leave their, email address with me, right? Now, I'm going to assume that even when we reopen out of 25, only, let's say, 15 will actually buy. So I'm being very, very conservative here. 100 people click on it. I'll say, okay, half of them will opt out eventually. And then even those that give me the email address, not all of them are going to buy. So only 15 buyers at $197, which is about $3,000. Yeah, $3,000. Now it is for me to decide whether or not this is a good ROI or not. If I'm happy with the $3,000 payday, I'll go ahead and create it, right? But let's say if I wasn't being conservative, if I was being like steadfast, what I could say is, okay, 100 people, let's say at least 50 of them will buy. 100 people clicked on it. When this offer is actually live, 50 of them will buy. 50 by 197 is about $10,000, which is pretty good, right? This is the number that we were aiming at. So I'll take this, but what I will also do is once we hit that 50 number, I'll raise the price to $297. That way, even if I convert less, I can play with the price point a little bit and see which price point is better. So you can do all this kind of testing once you have your numbers. Remember, business is about numbers. Business isn't just about creating something, putting it out there. Business is actually about numbers. And if you do this, you can validate the idea. So maybe within the next week or so, a couple of weeks, you can expect a full sales page in your email. Then you'll have the chance to get access to the system if you choose to, at, again, remember, a discounted price. But that's your option. So do this, build your own quick fire sales page, validate your idea, and then go out there and sell it with confidence. Because if you don't have confidence, you will end up not selling it or putting a lot of work and not making enough ROI out of that. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, leave a comment below, give us a heart or a like, and I'll catch you another time. Thanks. Bye.